Hello students. The topics which we're going to see today is about the software maintenance. See, this is a continuation of your unit 5. So in software maintenance mode, what we are going to see for this class is basics of software maintenance, maintenance cost, changing software system, layman's law, legacy system, software maintenance prediction, and software maintenance framework and their components. So moving on, the first topic is basics of software maintenance. So in this, we really need to know what is software maintenance. See, the process of modifying any software product after it has been delivered to the customer is generally called the maintenance. Purpose. Now, why we need to do the maintenance is to modify and update the software application after delivery to correct the faults and to improve its performance. So there are only two basic reasons why we are going to do the maintenance. One is to correct the faults, another is to improve the performance. Okay, now what is the need for maintenance? Not only this, there are certain other needs also for the maintenance. One is not, we are already told, correcting faults. The second one is improving the design. Next is improving or implementing the enhancements. Then interfacing with other systems. And the last one is like accommodating programs. So that different hardware, software, system features and telecommunication facilities can be used. So these are all the need of the why we need to do the maintenance. Next, there are certain categories of software maintenance. So there are four basic categories of software maintenance. The first one is the corrective maintenance. So we are going to explain about each and every maintenance type. So let me tell you the first one. Corrective maintenance. That means what? Corrections, rectifying some bugs observed while the system is in use, or to enhance the performance of the system. This is generally called as corrective maintenance, either to rectify the bugs when you're using the system or to improvise the performance of the system. The second one is adaptive maintenance. This type of maintenance generally includes the modifications and updations when the customers need the product to run on new platforms or on new operating system, or when they need the product to interface with new hardware and software. Only in these places adaptive maintenance is done. And then perfective maintenance. See, the perfective maintenance is maintenance to support new features that the user want to change, different type of functionalities of the system according to the customer demand. So when the user or the customer wants to have new features, change the functionalities based on the customer demands, perfective maintenance system to improvise the perfection. Now, the last one is preventive maintenance. This generally includes the modifications and updations to prevent future problems of the software. See, general goal is to attend the problems which are not significant at this moment, but may cause serious issues in the future. So such things, such type of maintenance work will be falling under preventive maintenance. Having seen the categories of the maintenance, now let us move on to the maintenance cost. Okay, before knowing some financial reasons for which the maintenance will be needed, I would like to tell you why generally, what do we mean by maintenance cost? Okay, the software product is very valuable to any organization if it's going to use it in a large portion of daily business. So if for some reason the software product has become unusable, or then the organization will be making a lot of losses and they'll be losing on their revenues. So software products are very crucial in any large enterprise. We have to remember this. So if an organization has to face such issues, in that case, it has to entirely get a different software product that will replace the existing one in order to do the maintenance, or they have to do the maintenance of the existing product and to make it more usable. So there are two ways in which it can escape this. First thing is to get a different software, entirely different software product that will replace the existing one. And the second is otherwise do the maintenance of an existing product in order to make it more usable. Now, there are some financial reasons for which the maintenance has very much needed. First one is loss in business revenue. So what do we mean by loss in business revenue? See, if business transactions are faulty, thus the business will be in lossy, they'll be losing the revenue. Opportunity loss, that's the second thing. Losing some opportunity even after having the thing. So sometimes there could be some business opportunity in the marketplace, but due to some software problems, it could not be actually availed. That is opportunity loss. The third one is productivity loss. Maintenance of an existing software product has its own problem. All of us know. So maintenance will incur cost. That also we know that. A profit or a loss analysis can only be done to see if it is more profitable in order to conduct a maintenance program on the software or to keep using it as it is. So if the software product becomes difficult to operate during, lengthy processing or difficult processing, then productivity will become lower for the business personnel. So in these reasons, financial issues or reasons, only the maintenance will have to be taken place. What do we mean by changing a software system? See, software maintenance, evolution of system, this theory was basically introduced by Lehman. So one key observation in Lehman's law was larger systems are never said to be complete. Okay, and they continue to evolve. As the systems evolve, they become more complex unless we take some actions or we do something in order to reduce their complexity. So this was the major key observation in Lehman's law. Lehman stated a law in which there were actually 8 laws, which we'll be seeing in the next, it's not 5 laws, it's 8 laws, which we'll be seeing in the next slide. Now, these are the laws which are given by Lehman. So before starting with these laws, let me tell you what is Lehman's law. See, according to Lehman's laws of software evolution on one side, size and complexity of a software will be continually increasing in its lifetime. On the other side, the quality of the software system will decrease unless it is rigorously maintained and adapted. So that is what is stated by the Lehman's law. Okay, now let us see one after the other, all the laws. First is law of continuing change. See, they have given something called E-type. So E-type system is nothing but an embedded type system. This is nothing but final type of system proposed by Lehman is generally called as E-system, embedded type system. E-type programs are also a terminology which you can use somewhere. All the programs that are addressing a problem or activity of the real world are normally termed as E-type programs. Their evolution is the direct consequence and reflection of ongoing changes in any dynamic real world. Okay. So first law of continuing change is an E-type system will be continuously changing. It has to keep on changing. Otherwise, it is becoming less progressive or less satisfactory in use. According to second law, increasing complexity, as already told, when the system evolves, it becomes complex unless we are rigorously maintaining it and adapting it. So we have to devote a lot of extra resources in order to reduce its complexity. Third law is law of self-regulation. Every E-type system is generally self-regulating. The fourth one is law of conservation of organizational stability. See, over a program's lifetime, generally the development is approximately constant, independent of whatever resources you are devoting for the development. The law of conservation of familiarity, the fifth one, is the average incremental growth of each system at a point will become constant. Sixth is law of continuing growth. The functional capability of the e-system will be continually enhanced to maintain user satisfaction. So we have to keep on evolving and keep on changing in order to have a better user satisfaction over the system lifetime. Seventh one is law of declining quality. So unless rigorous adapting to some changes in our operational environment, the quality of e-system will be declining. So we have to keep on changing for operational environment or according to the operational environment. As and when the newer project or products emerge, the E-type system will keep on declining. The eighth one is the law of feedback system. To sustain continuous evolution, to minimize threats of the software decay or loss of familiarity or any sort of issues, we need to monitor the performance. and need to have a feedback to monitor the performance. Feedbacks generally help to collect the metrics on the system and maintenance efforts performance. So this was the layman's laws. Next is your legacy systems. So what do we mean by legacy system? Older software system that remain vital to any organization. Okay, it is an old system that still provides essential business services. So software systems are generally developed, especially for an organization, have a very long lifetime. This is a known fact. Many software systems are still in use. They were developed many years ago using certain technologies that basically now are obsolete. So these systems are still business critical and they are essential for any normal functioning of the business. That is why they have been given the name as legacy systems. It has certain characteristics. The first one is high maintenance cost. Okay, due to system factors like complexity, poor documentation, lack of experienced personnel, normally high maintenance cost is the one which results. The second one is complex software. Due to structural degradation, while or which occurred over a legacy system's lifetime of change, that is complexity. Obsolete support system, that is the third one. The support software may not be available for a particular platform. Then the obsolete hardware. So legacy systems hardware may have been discontinued. Next is lack of technical expertise. Original development or developers of the legacy system cannot be involved with the maintenance today. That is the biggest problem. Poorly documented. Well, documentation, because it was done long ago, documentation could have been missing. It could be unreliable or inconsistent. Poorly understood. Because of the system complexity and poor documentation, software maintainers cannot understand the legacy system. And finally, business critical. Many legacy systems are essential for proper working of the organizations which operate them. As I already told, it is business critical. The next one is the software maintenance prediction. See, this refers to study of the software maintainability, modifications of the software system, and the maintenance cost that are required to maintain the software system basically. So there are various maintenance predictions and questions associated with them. So they are shown in this diagram. Which part of the system will be expensive to maintain, or how much will be the cost of maintaining system over its lifetime, or what will be the number of changes requested, which part of the system would be affected by the change requests, or how much would be the cost involved in maintaining system over the next year, and all these type of prediction and questions will be arising. So this comprises of the maintenance prediction. Next is the software maintenance framework. Well, the software maintenance framework has certain components as given here, the 6 components. First one is user requirements. Well, the requirements of each and every component has its own features. So I'll just tell you the features of each component. User requirements features, if you see, it is the requesting for additional functionality, error correction, capability and improvement in maintainability. All of them comes under the user requirements. Second is the organizational environment. Change in business policies, competition in market are the features. Operational environment. Hardware platform, software specifications are its features. Maintenance process. Well, variation in programming, capturing requirements, variation in programming and working practices, paradigm shift, error detection and correction. These are all the features of the maintenance process. Next is software product. The quality of documentation, complexity of programs, program structure, all of them comes under software product. They are the features of them. And then the software maintenance team. Staff turnover, domain expertise are the features of it. Hope this lecture was useful for you. Thank you, students.